Happy Friday, everyone. It's Devin. I am in a challenge group through my business, and one of the things that they've asked us to do is to come on live and tell you about our why. And it's a little scary if you've never done this. It's actually kind of nerve-wracking. But I wanted to be able to do this because I want you to hear my heart, and I want you to hear where I'm coming from regarding my life and my why, and why I'm here and doing the work that I do. Whenever I was challenged to this, I started thinking back to my childhood. And one of the stories I remember is being a little girl and my mom and dad taking me to the carnival. And I got there and I saw these swings, you know, the swings that they have that are so big, and they're in a big circle, and you can get on there and you can just go round and round and it spreads up higher. I really wanted to go on those swings, but I was too afraid, and my dad kept trying to take me, and I kept saying, no, I'm not going to do that, but I wanted to so badly. So when I was thinking about my life right now and my why, I kept going back to that story. And to tell you a little bit more about my background, I was just a typical kid. I went to high school, I went to college, I got a job, I went back to college, I had 6 babies. I was just a normal person. And then some things happened in my life that changed it really drastically. I ended up with my kids by myself. There's 6 of them, and we ended up in a shelter, which was not in my plan. We ended up not having a place to live. Also not in my plan, but that wasn't really what was so difficult. I think the thing that was most difficult for me and for them during that process was not only did we lose our house and we lost our finances, but we lost our sense of safety, and I lost my self-confidence in who I was as a mom and who I was as a woman. And that was really tough to live through, because those were so important, especially when you're trying to parent and your children are watching everything that you do. So from that point on, I needed to get a job. And unfortunately, I couldn't go back to what I knew, which was teaching and counseling. I had to do something completely different because of the time of the year. So I ended up going into the roofing industry, construction industry. And so not only was I a fish out of water, I was a fish out of water that had no confidence. So I was kind of a wreck. But, you know, as a mom, as a parent, you do whatever you need to do to make sure your kids are taken care of. And that went on for several years. And I was doing just enough to kind of make ends meet. It didn't always work. We were still in food lines, and I was on every government program available. And I was a proud recipient of those, because I was not able by myself to take care of all of our needs as I had hoped. So yes, that was a time in my life that was the most difficult, but I can look back on now and see it was very important to me and to all of us. Fast forward a little bit, I lost that job. Just walked in one day and they just let me go. So I was freaking out. Also, during that same few weeks, I found out that I was losing our home that we were renting, and then I got court papers saying about challenging the custody of my kids. So I was in a really, really tough place. I wasn't sure what I was going to do. No home, no work, just really stinky time in our lives. This business that I'm in now came across my lap. And I have to admit, I really prejudged the entire channel. I wanted nothing to do with the business at all. And I had never tried the products. I didn't want to try the products. I couldn't buy the products. I had never even heard of the company. I had heard of another company they had done, but I mean, I wasn't interested. I was just like, I don't want to have anything to do with this. But it works out that some of my mentors in my life researched, and they said, no, you really need to consider this, even though it was not something I wanted to do. So I said, okay, I will do it. I had a really long talk with the Lord, and we had a plan. And so I did, but I knew that I needed to be able to feel good about what I was doing. I needed to know that I could be authentic. I could be authentically me throughout this process, that I had to do whatever I did needed to be the way that Devin normally is. I was not going to take on a persona. I was not going to turn into a used car salesman. I was not going to bug my friends or have them run from me. I just don't work that way. And so I figured there has to be a way to do what I need to do and be me in the process, the me that I was comfortable with. So I did start this business, and I've learned that I don't have to convince people of anything. I don't try to convince people of anything. One thing about me is that I genuinely love and am thankful, so thankful for what I get to do every day. It's something that I always wanted. I'm a very other people focused person. My background was in education. I was a teacher and then a counselor. And so it's always been important for me to be able to love on other people, because that really fills me up and makes me feel like I'm doing a good job. But I also realized, yes, I needed money for my kids, but I also needed something different for me. There needed to be something in this more than just money. And I needed an extra stream of income so I could still be a present mom, and I could pick up and drop off and do all of those things that you want to be able to do for your children. And because I was so other people focused, I wanted to make sure that I could kind of combine all those parts of me in some way into this business that I have. So what I've loved is that I get to choose who I work with. They get to choose me, and we get to work together in a way that is really quite beautiful and so fun and rewarding. And I realize now, looking back and thinking about that swing at the carnival, that's something I've always battled, is that fear. I couldn't get on the swing because I was so afraid. Even though my dad was with me, I didn't trust that he was going to be able to take care of me. So I can see parts of my life when I was doing the same thing. I went with things that were safe because I was afraid. And so what I've learned to do now is that I have learned to battle that fear and to just kind of bottle it and channel it in a new direction. So the fear can be redirected in such a way that it makes us brave and strong. Because whenever I can talk to the people that do this with me, I can tell them, yeah, getting on a Facebook Live on a Friday afternoon, no way, it's so scary. But you can do it. You can take that 5 seconds and say that you could talk yourself out of something, and you can just do it. And it feels so good once you do. So you're redirecting that fear into another direction. And I want to be able to pass this type of thing, this accomplishment, this fun, this success that I get to feel every day with what I get to do. I want to pass this along to the people that I love, and then the people that I meet, because it's done so much for me. And I want to make sure it gets to do some things for other people. I feel like I've been able to take this, and I've been able to grow something for my family. When I started this business, I had no savings. I had no retirement. I had nothing for my kids. And I want them to be able to look back someday and realize that Mom fought for me. Mom fought to find the right jobs. Mom fought to stand in those food lines, whatever it took. I want them to know that I did that for them, and I want the people that are with me to understand that that's just how I do things, that I will always fight for them to make sure that they have what they need in this business as well. So this business is exciting, it is encouraging, and it is really life-changing. And so my why has been to take that and bottle it and spread it to as many people as want it, because it's changed who I am. It's changed how I see the world. It's changed who my friends are, who I go to. It has opened up an entire new world of relationships and adventures and things that I never ever imagined, because the Devin that was a few years ago didn't have any self-confidence. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I hid in my house and I was afraid. And now I get to do this, and I love every bit of it, and I love who I get to work with. So I ask you, if this reminds you of anybody in your world, send them my way, because I love to take people and teach them what I know and dust them off and send them out and watch them shine. It's who I am. It's how I'm built, and it's what I want to do the rest of my life in any possible way. So I want to thank you to everybody that has supported me and my business. I want to thank you to the people that have watched over us, my kids and me, and just been walking with us along the way. You have been invaluable to us, and we love you so much. I want everybody to have a fabulous Friday and a super great weekend. Thank you.